Hi friends, welcome back. Regal Smith here, and today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for a healthy pregnancy and hopefully an efficient and peaceful delivery. So the inspiration came from a TikTok video I posted recently about my 1-minute birth story of how a cop delivered my baby on the bathroom floor. Now that's probably not your birth plan. It was not my birth plan, but what I was doing was prepping my body to have a very easy birth and efficient birth, which I definitely received. So I had a lot of questions of women asking me what was I doing to help prepare my body for birth. So here's what I was doing. Number 1, drink raspberry leaf tea. So red raspberry leaf tea is a uterine tonic. It helps to strengthen and tone the uterus. So my midwife taught me to drink during my 2nd and 3rd trimester a whole quart, 1 quart a day. So I was drinking a lot of this tea, and the easiest way I found was to take a glass jar, put a 1/4 cup of loose leaf red raspberry leaf tea in the bottom, fill it up with hot water, leave it overnight, and then come back and strain it. That's technically called a tea infusion. And then I would put the jar in the fridge, drink it throughout the day, because to me it tasted better cold and it was a lot of tea to drink hot. So that's how I would drink it. Number 2, dates. Eat dates. Yes, these little kinds of dates. This seemed crazy to me, but my midwife shared with me some of the research about how it would help me have a more efficient birth. So what the research has found is that it helps the women that show up at the hospital have a higher dilation rate, a higher rate of spontaneous labor versus induction, and decreased length of labor. I think it went from 900 and some minutes to 510 minutes, I believe, so mine was much shorter than that, but I will link the article in my blog if you want to read more about dates. It's, I think, 4 to 6 dates to eat per day starting around 36 weeks. Number 3, essential oils. If you follow my channel, read my blog, you know I am all about the essential oils. This is the book that you want to get. This is Essential Oils for Birth, Pregnancy, and Beyond. It's by Stephanie Fritz. I will link it in my Amazon favorites store below for you. And the new version is going to be purple. This one has a little bit of pinkish. This is her older version. But this has tips for fertility, I don't know what that is, but fertility if you're trying to get pregnant. It also has tips for morning sickness, indigestion. It has tips for hemorrhoids, because that's a real thing, ladies. Also, what to do about discomfort during labor, back labor, and then even what to do, what oils you can safely use on your baby. So check out this book. If you need the doTERRA essential oils, that is my full-time business. I'll link below how to purchase them from me, and you can get 25% off as a wholesale customer if you're not already a doTERRA wholesale customer. So I will hook you up with those oils if you need them, and our wellness community. Number 4, we got to get that pelvic floor in shape. So we are going to start doing some squats, and I'm talking 300 squats a day is what is recommended. And that's what I learned from my midwife, and I feel that made such a huge impact. Now, before I was pregnant, I wasn't doing any squats, so I had to work up to them. This isn't going to the gym and doing these perfect squats. This is the act of the motion of squatting. So if you think about our ancestors, they were squatting all the time. They squatted down to make food. They squatted down to go to the bathroom. They squatted down to eat. So the act of squatting helps to strengthen your pelvic floor. So if you're brushing your teeth, think about starting to do some squats. You're making dinner, you're drinking tea, and start to break it up and get it in throughout the day. Now, some of this recommendation comes from a woman called Ina May Gaskin. Remember that name, Ina May Gaskin. She is an incredible, empowering woman, a midwife who has attended over 1,200 births of unmedicated home births and helped women have really empowering births after she herself had a very traumatic birth experience with the birth of one of her children. Now, she has a book, she has several of them, and if you have any fears whatsoever about childbirth, read her books. She will help transform your fear of birth into confidence. There's one called Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. I think she has one called Spiritual Midwifery. She has, I believe there's a documentary about her. Check out her stuff and feel really empowered, and be reassured that women have been having babies successfully for millennia. Our bodies know what to do. That's why we're here as a population still. Number 5 is to shift your mindset about birth. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but there are some women in certain cultures of the world that don't experience pain during childbirth. There are these small pockets of community that have never been exposed to the idea that birth is supposed to be painful. Crazy, right? Another thing is that some women actually have orgasms during birth. So check out orgasmic birth on Google if you want to know about that. So just know that every mother's experience is different, and yours doesn't have to be the same as another mother's. And even if we have an idea of what birth should look like, we can shift it a little bit. And one of the things that helped to open my mind to the possibility of birth and not being the way I had perceived it on TV, I didn't have a lot of experience with birth, was a birth class called hypnobirthing. I highly recommend taking a birth class with a certified hypnobirthing specialist, an instructor. And my instructor, bless her heart, she had 5 kids and she loved birth so much. She taught me that for all 5 of her children, she could breathe them out. And I'm not talking about like Lamaze breathing, where she could relax and allow her body to release her baby. And she was my model of possibility of what birth could be like and how it could be peaceful. She would show us peaceful birth videos. She would also show us animal birth videos, right? Like an animal isn't fearful. They know what to do. They're instinctual. We're instinctual creatures if we let our mind get out of the way and just feel it. And that was helpful too for me to see some animal births. Another thing is she shared with us a story about a woman who was in a coma, medically in a coma, and her body, without any interventions, except for somebody helping to catch the baby as it came out, her body delivered a baby, right? Her uterus did the work, did the contractions, and there was somebody there to catch the baby. Our bodies are designed to do the work. So start to explore some of those options, especially if you have any fear around birth. Now, not all births go as planned. Mine included, I did not plan a floor birth in my bathroom with only my husband barely catching my baby in time. And I'll link that video below if you want to hear the 1-minute story of how that went down. But my plan was to have a home birth with a qualified midwife where I had a baby in water, right? How peaceful is that? So that was the plan. It did not work. And know that no matter how your birth goes, it's exactly the way it's supposed to be. And to trust your body and know that it knows what to do and allow it to happen. Now, my final tip for you is if you want to explore more about good questions to ask your birthing professional. So whether you choose to have a home birth or a birth in a hospital, check out a documentary called The Business of Being Born. It's a documentary that will open your eyes to some things, and it might help you have good conversations with your healthcare professional about interventions and things that you would like to see during your birth. So check that out. If you have a positive birth experience that you would love for a first-time mom to hear that is empowering for that mom, please drop it in the comments. I feel like sometimes there's fear and anxiety wrapped around being a mom for the first time, and I would love for them to know that there are some very peaceful stories out there that they can use as a model of possibility for themselves. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.